From your breaking news and weather authority on Fox Rochester, this is 13 Wham News at 10.
Tonight, as many as 12 Rochester police officers facing scrutiny over their response to a traffic stop by federal immigration agents.
I was made aware of an incident that occurred on Monday night when our officers were urgently called to assist Border Patrol.
Good evening, I'm Matt Malloy. The actions of multiple RPD officers under review tonight. The mayor says when Border Patrol officers called for backup on Monday evening, several city officers responded, and in the course of helping with the traffic stop, they violated the terms of Rochester's sanctuary city status. 13 Wham's Daniel Finkelstein joins us now with a breakdown of what the mayor says happened, how the police union is responding, and what happens next. Daniel, good evening.
Good evening, Matt. While helping on that traffic stop, Mayor Evans says RPD officers verbally directed the occupants to exit the vehicle and then helped handcuff him. That's where he says city police went too far. It happened early Monday evening near here, Whitney Street off Lyle Avenue on the city's west side.
The Rochester Police Department received an emergency request for backup at the scene of a traffic stop.
A request from Border Patrol officers who had stopped a van. Chief David Smith says when a police supervisor arrived, he canceled the emergency response based on what he saw.
From watching the body-worn camera footage, what is concerning to me is, despite the fact that we were called, we went lights and siren, I see in the video a total lack of urgency on the part of multiple Border Patrol officers at the scene.
Smith says Border Patrol should have initiated contact with those in the car, but instead it was RPD. The mayor says city officers acted outside their scope.
The officers on the scene were verbally directed the occupants to get out of the vehicle. And this is against our policy.
Rochester's sanctuary city resolution was passed in 1986 and was later reaffirmed in 2017. That and RPD's General Order 502 prohibits RPD from enforcing federal immigration law, but allows for certain levels of assistance, only to ensure the safety of those involved.
We are not to be handcuffing subjects. We are not to be doing pat frisks on subjects, and we are absolutely not going to be detaining them or putting them into our cars.
All right, guys, so once again, we got to talk about another example of how Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, the Democrat Party, is. The things that they choose to be concerned about and the things they choose not to be concerned about, okay? They're not concerned about the safety, the well-being of the average American citizen, as much as they're concerned about the well-being of the illegal immigrant, especially the illegal immigrant gang member or violent criminal. They're especially concerned about that group of people, right? And it's just fascinating because, again, we have another story showing us that the Democrats and their priorities are 100% completely out of line because they're now fuming. They're fuming over the fact that police in Rochester, New York, which is a sanctuary city, helped Border Control and Homeland Security doing a traffic stop, right? So they're upset that police officers helped Border Control arrest illegal immigrants. Okay, they're mad because the police help enforce federal law, right? Help enforce the laws on the books. Again, this is the current state of the Democrat Party. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this.
Got a police, ICE, and Homeland.
New tonight, video of Rochester police officers assisting Border Patrol and Homeland Security during a traffic stop. Rochester's mayor and police chief say the officers who made these people get out of a van and handcuffed them violated the city's policy.
News 10 NBC's Marcia Gusson obtained the video of what happened. She joins us live from the Public Safety Building with reaction and walks us through this video. Marcia?
Brett, Nikki, the mayor and chief say that this goes against the city policy. But as you'll see in one of the videos that I obtained, Rochester police are helping ICE agents on Monday night during a traffic stop on Lyle Avenue and Whitney Street.
Let me talk to my Don't push. I'm pushing you. I just dropped it there. You understand me? Don't you do not touch my officer. I'm a woman. I don't care. You can't touch I don't care. I just did.
Wow. Wow. With all the things that police are dealing with on a daily basis, okay, Democrats choose to be the party of making their jobs harder than it really needs to be, right? That's what they continue to be at this point, okay? I think that most people don't understand what the average police officer goes through on a daily basis, and that's why there's so much hate out there for police. But I think if people actually experience what these officers go through every single day, the type of individuals and characters that they're dealing with, I think more people would be sympathetic towards the plight of the average police officer, okay? Because they're dealing with Looney Tunes on a regular basis all the time, okay? Because, you know, hey, most of the crime is going to occur in neighborhoods where the Looney Tunes live. So that is who they're dealing with.
In the video, you can hear the woman yelling at an RPD officer. She steps in front of them, wanting to talk to her cousin, she says, who is inside the van. The officer pushes her away as another officer works to get that person out of a dark-colored red van. Chief David Smith says the supervisor who arrived on scene initially canceled the response. He says despite that, they still responded.
What is also very concerning is that RPD officers, when out of view of the supervisor who is on scene, do initiate contact with occupants of the vehicle while Border Patrol stands by.
Once the man gets...
AKA they did the right thing, right? That's what they did. They said, you know what? The right thing is to help deport illegal immigrants, right? We're going to help out the police by assisting them on the scene. And our boss may not like it, but we're going to do the right thing. That's essentially what's happening here.
It's out of the van. ICE begins to search him. The woman tries to get closer.
I want you to back up. You'll get it when you're done. When we're done, you will get out of the way. Okay, back up.
Rochester City Council President Miguel Melendez says he will let the investigation run its course and mentioned what he's hearing from the community.
That there is an uptick in what I'll call driving while Latino. There's a lot more profiling, a lot more disdain for being Latino right now.
In this
wow, you know, it's pretty funny because I feel like Latinos, who I like a lot, by the way, right? Especially Latino women. But anyways, yeah, I mean, it's always interesting to me to come across a woke Latino man, right? Because I feel like most of the Latino men that I know are not woke, right? They're not woke. They're definitely more right-leaning, okay? And that's why I find it to be fascinating when I see the ones that are woke, okay? Because I'm like, yeah, you know, a lot of guys in your community are not like this, right? What's up with this, right? What's going on here, okay? What's the problem? But, yeah, I mean, nobody is trying to profile because you're Latino, right? I think most reasonable Latinos understand that if you are law-abiding, okay, if you're here legally, there's no problems, right? There's no issues, okay? And I think most law-abiding Latinos would agree that people who are here illegally should be deported, right? In fact, I believe that's part of the reason why President Trump won a significant portion of the Latino vote compared to how Republicans historically perform, and due to the fact that he is very hard on illegal immigration, right? People who come into this country the right way don't want others coming behind them the wrong way, okay? They don't want that. That's the last thing that they want, okay? They're trying to shut the door on the illegals, right? Because ultimately it doesn't benefit them, right? It's not fair. And on top of that, it's more competition, right? So it's like, you know what? No, we don't want others coming into the country to compete, okay, for our jobs. So yeah, I just think that this issue in regards to illegal immigration, a lot of people just think that Latinos are like, oh, we want all our family members coming into the country illegally. And I'm like, nah, I don't think most Latinos think that way. I think that is how liberals or Democrats think that Latinos think, but that's not actually how they think, which again is why Florida, Texas, right, states with large Latino populations are red, okay? They are deep red at this point.
Video, you see moments where two other people were also being detained. Several Rochester police officers and ICE agents surround them. Then, in this angle, you see an RPD officer holding the arm of a man in handcuffs while another officer removes the man's hood and baseball cap.
And our policy clearly states that the Rochester Police Department is not responsible for and does not engage in enforcement of immigration laws.
County legislator Mercedes Vasquez Simmons says there are two versions of stories that are being told in Rochester.
We have one that it's a sanctuary city, that we're not going to cooperate. And then you see what the reality is out in a community. To pin this on police officers is just, it's not fair to them. Information flows from the top down.
We reached out to Border Patrol and Homeland Security. An ICE spokesperson would only tell us that enhanced targeted operations began Monday in parts of New York to enforce U.S. immigration law. We asked what happened to those that were detained. We have not received a response. In downtown Rochester, Marcia Augusta, News 10. NBC.
And as for the Rochester police officers involved, they're off-road patrol until they get additional training on the city's policy of not being involved in any immigration enforcement. Thanks, Marcia. Rochester's police union released a statement on the situation. It says, in part, quote, the mayor's statements today about this incident represent a complete overreaction to what did and did not happen on Monday. The Locust Club members who responded did absolutely nothing wrong other than to answer a call for help from another agency.
Yeah, I don't think they did anything wrong either, right? I'm still trying to figure out exactly what the problem is. But apparently Democrats think it's a problem, at least enough of a problem to basically take 10 police officers off the streets to receive additional training on how to stay away when trying to assist ICE with arresting illegal immigrants, right? They're receiving training on why they should not try to enforce the law. That's how ass backwards our society has become, right? These blue states. That's how ass backwards they are, okay? Police, they've been pulled off the streets, okay? AKA our streets, their streets, Rochester streets are less safe because police have been taken off the streets to receive additional training on how they should not try to help enforce the law. That is the reality of what is happening in Democrat cities, right? So the police got punished for helping enforce the law. You can't make this up. This is the current state of the Democrat Party in 2025. And they're defending this. Yeah. Hey, you know, it is what it is. Again, I don't think these police officers did anything wrong. In fact, all these police officers, I don't know, maybe should be given a bonus or something, right? Give them a raise, okay? Celebrate them because they did the right thing, okay? Despite the fact that there was pressure for them not to do the right thing, but they did the right thing anyways in order to protect the American people. And I don't really understand why there's so much outrage towards them over this. But hey, you know, again, this is what the Democrats believe in, right? They care more about the illegal immigrants and their well-being than American citizens. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.